we go to Nick, who is going to tell us how he sees this all playing out in 2024.
Yeah, so we'll define this by this 2024 Bears schedule as a series of runs here. And Adam, you did a good job of highlighting the beginning of what this schedule could look like for the Bears, because I have the Bears, winning a good portion of their games early on the season, starting with Tennessee getting that W. And Houston, it's a really tough matchup. Also, remember, Danielle Hunter is also in Houston, so tag him with Will Anderson. I think they'll get after Caleb Williams, and they'll ultimately lose that Week 2 matchup. You do get that game in Indy, and I think the Bears will ultimately win that one. And the Rams, I think, are still going to be a good football team. You can't count out Matthew Stafford, so the L. But here's a streak, a crazy streak, if that. Starting with that Carolina game, fitting it's Carolina that starts a winning streak here. But you go to Carolina, get the W, go to London and beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. And look, the Bears have played at Washington before, and they've gotten a W with Justin Fields. Still see the same thing happening with now Caleb Williams, and then another road matchup against Arizona. You get the W there against the Cardinals and Marvin Harrison Jr. Rookie quarterback matchup between Drake May and Caleb Williams with New England. Get that W in for the first time in a very long time. The Bears will get finally a victory over the Green Bay Packers, and then follow that up with a divisional win against the Vikings. But it really starts to go down for the Bears in this prediction, where they start to go on the road and then start to rack up those L's. There's just some really tough opponents, and also you're on the road for 3 games in a row: Detroit, San Francisco, Minnesota. Like, that's not easy. And then you have that stretch that we were talking about, the 3 games in 10 days. The Bears ultimately break that losing streak with the victory over Detroit in December, but that it would be the 3rd game in 10 days against Seattle. I know maybe people look at that game as saying, like, okay, the Bears, I think, match up well, but that's just a stretch football team. So I ultimately have them losing that one. And then at Green Bay, you guys, like, I get it. Like, this Bears team should be improved, but just seeing how last year's matchups went with Green Bay, even though the last game of the year was, I think, a 17-9 loss, it felt a lot worse than that. I had the Bears losing that one, but the Bears start off hot, still improve from their 7 games they won in 2023 by 3 games, 10-7. I think that should be enough to get you ultimately a playoff spot. So 10-7, you guys.
We all silly like the mayor.